8 things I wish someone had told me before I went on to mix hundreds of songs. I learned all this on my own, and now I want to share it with you so I can save you years of headache and frustration. Number 8 on this list is my favorite because people just don't talk about it enough and it changes everything. Let's begin. Number 1, as mixers, we all have some type of mix tendency that is not helping us. Identify yours and catch it in advance next time. We need to identify and acknowledge our mixing weaknesses, and this is crucial to getting better. For example, if you tend to use too much delay and reverb in your mixes and you are getting this feedback from clients and peers multiple times, make a conscious effort to catch it in advance next time by knowing that you have a tendency to overdo the wetness of effects. By recognizing and catching our mix tendencies in advance, this is how we improve. Number 2, don't ever let your ego get in the mix, specifically talking about mixing for clients. Even if you think the mix sounds perfect, if the client wants a change, just make the change. Here's why. Think of a time that you produced a song, not mixed, but produced a song, and as you were producing it, you had a vision in your head of how you imagined it would sound. That vision was yours and yours alone. Now, when a client comes to you for mixing, they are handing that vision over to you. Once you get your hands on it and start mixing, you start to get your own vision for the song, and this is natural. It's part of why they hired you. But don't neglect the client's original vision. This is why having a rough mix or a demo mix from the client to reference their balance is so important. So you don't land in different ballparks with the outcome, and you have a mix that you are both happy with. We have to remember we're mixing for the client's satisfaction, not our own. Number 3, you become the best by doing the most. Go do. Let the results speak for themselves. I got really good at mixing by mixing over 500 songs. If you want to get good, there's no substitute for hands-on practice. Don't be afraid to start mixing. Just know and accept that your first few mixes just aren't going to be good. If we just accept this fact at the beginning, then we can keep going and we will slowly improve. It's the same concept I'm applying here to this YouTube channel. Keeping at it, not giving up, and knowing that every video will get better and better. So don't forget to subscribe. You just have to put in the reps. Mixing is no different. Put in the work, refine as you go, and let the results speak for themselves after you've mixed 100 songs. My friend, I'm here in a different shirt on a different day to remind you to stick with me until number 8, because in number 8, I'll share a realization that helped me get over imposter syndrome and finally gain confidence in my mixing. And here is the next step. Number 4, stop listening to everyone else's opinions. You have to try this on your own and find what works for you. I know. Ironic because I'm sharing advice with you now. But this advice is practical to help you learn and encouraging you to find what works for you. Avoid spending your precious time on forums discussing and theorizing about mixing concepts. Go do it. If someone just used all that time spent thinking and talking about mixing and scrolling on mixing TikTok, just on mixing, they would get so much better, so much faster. Mixing is subjective, so you need to spend a ton of time mixing to learn what works for you. And then you'll always be confident to tackle a mix because your strategies and methods will have worked for you on hundreds of songs. Which leads to our next point. Number 5, don't be afraid to turn knobs. When it comes to mixing, sometimes it's necessary to make big moves and process things heavily to get the right sound. This could mean drastic EQ, boosts or cuts, aggressive compression, or other processing techniques that dig deep. If you're new to mixing, making an aggressive processing move can be scary, but you can always back it off after. What is pointless is boosting one tiny frequency at 0.25 dB and tweaking it for 20 minutes, not even sure if you actually hear any difference. You need to dig in, dig deep, and learn, and you can back it off later. Number 6 is a good one. Use more saturation in your mixes and get good at saturation. I made a short video a little while ago about how I listened to the last 40 winning songs for the Engineer of the Year category at the Juno Awards, which is like the Canadian version of the Grammys. What I noticed was that all of these mixers are masters of saturation. They use saturation to color in the mix in subtle and ear-pleasing ways. They've mastered the sonic character of saturation, which makes their mixes sound so professional. Once I started using saturation subtly and effectively in my mixes, they improved a ton. Number 7, gear matters a little, but not nearly as much as you think. For example, if someone's recording vocals on an old iPhone, it's not going to have the same results as a high quality condenser mic. I don't care what they say, it's just not. But on the other hand, a decent quality budget condenser microphone is not nearly as far off from an expensive condenser microphone as you might think. Just watch my last video about the Slate ML1 modeling mic for the proof. At the end of the day, a great engineer can get great results with what they have, but remember that a great engineer won't be setting up to record vocals with a Rock Band video game mic. So if we focus on getting better as an engineer first in recording and mixing, everything will start to come together. Okay, number 8 is my favorite, but just before, I need to tell you about our ultimate mixing tips and hacks guide. This is an absolutely free resource for you of some of my juiciest mixing tips, which I've put together over the years, and I've been grateful to get some amazing feedback about it. I know it's going to help you a ton, and I know you're gonna love it, so I've put the free download link at the top of the description so you can go grab that now. And finally, number 8, mixing is a world of gray. Mixing is not a black and white area of right and wrongs, not correct versus incorrect. Realize that your mixing system and your mixing style is yours and it's not wrong. If you watch different professional engineers, sometimes you'll see them doing things in completely different ways. It doesn't mean one of them is wrong. We all have systems that we like and that work for us, and guess what? Sometimes two completely different ways of doing the same thing can both sound good. So pick and choose what works for you from different teachers and make your own system. This is why so many mixers and producers struggle with imposter syndrome, because they feel there's a right way and a wrong way. And when they see themselves doing things differently than someone else, they feel wrong. They feel like an imposter. But no, my friend, in the end, it's about achieving the best possible sound for the music you're mixing. And if it works, it works. I'm here to tell you that I believe in you, and if you apply these 8 things, I know you're gonna get to your destination a lot quicker. That's all for today. Don't forget to download your free guide, and I will see you next time.